welcome back. In this lesson, we'll be reviewing nutritional starvation and macronutrients. So, to get an understanding of this, first, let's take a look at food in general. The food we eat these days isn't what it used to be. The food our ancestors ate were mostly live, unprocessed foods like a whole food plant-based diet and the occasional freshly caught meat and fish. These types of food have a full range of the essential micro and macronutrients in a form that our bodies can digest and assimilate to our cells for optimal functioning. Nutritional starvation is one of the biggest reasons we have an obesity epidemic. Nutritional starvation is just one reason you may be stuck on this weight loss roller coaster. When your body is starving of nutrients, it tells your brain to keep eating and eating because you are not nutritionally full. But the thing is, you can be very hungry all the time, eating maybe well over 5,000 calories a day, but you still can be nutritionally starving. Remember, all the vitamins, minerals, fiber, water, and phytochemicals you learned about? If you're not supplying your body with those nutrients, you will still be nutritionally starving. It's all about the nutrients we obtain from our food that nourishes our cells, and most of the foods in a standard American diet are very high in calories with zero to little nutrients. As you can see here, back then, our ancestors ate a lot better compared to what we do now. We're eating a lot of food that has zero to little nutrients with thousands of calories. So, to get a better understanding of how this works, nutritional starvation can happen in a matter of 4 ways. Number 1, you're not consuming the right nutrients, or these nutrients are missing from your diet. So, this is a pure dietary consumption factor. Number 2, you're not able to digest and assimilate the nutrients. This is a digestion and transport issue. Number 3, your cells aren't able to absorb the nutrients. Again, digestion and inflammation issues. And number 4, the nutrients have been destroyed and corrupted from the food industry and processing methods. This week, we're diving into number 1. All right, so number 1, you're missing these crucial nutrients from your diet, specifically the right macronutrients. Put simply, macronutrients provide your body with calories in the form of energy. There are 3 types of macronutrients: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Protein is the building block of all cells. Fats help balance and regulate hormones and cell functions. Carbs are the body's main source of energy. While you may be lacking in micronutrients, the non-caloric nutrients, you also need the right types of macronutrients, or you will still be left nutritionally starving. Okay, just for your information, carbs have about 4 calories per gram, protein has the same, about 4 calories per gram, and fats have about 9 calories per gram. Everybody has a unique caloric need, but this is unique to the individual. Calories in the form of protein, fat, or carbs are what makes us function and keep us energized. Quite frankly, you can find all these macronutrients in plant foods, being that the small amount of nutrients that do come in animal foods actually come from plants that animals eat. People forget to attend how the food chain actually works and where everything comes from. Plant foods contain a mixture of proteins, fat, and carbs. Even a banana has some percentage of fat and protein. Fruit and starchy vegetables are predominantly carbohydrates, but they also contain some fat and protein. Green vegetables are about half protein, quarter carbohydrate, quarter fat. Legumes and beans are about half carbohydrate, quarter protein, and quarter fat. But even on a strict plant-based diet, meaning your way of eating, you still can get all the necessary nutrients you need. Specifically, the macronutrients. And these are what are going to give you enough calories. The thing is here, you have to eat more food. You cannot be afraid of eating more volume of food. You have to stop restricting or in portion sizing these whole foods. That is why I don't really agree with certain portion controlling ideas, because you may still be starving yourself. And a very important distinction is that all calories are not equal. In order to lose weight, you may have heard that you must be in a calorie deficit, meaning that your macronutrients are getting sufficient amounts, but you're not consuming too many calories for your body type. And you still are eating enough, though, to maintain your metabolic needs. To be in a caloric deficit, we typically just think in simple terms of reducing the amount of calories we're taking in or burning more calories than we're taking in. This works, but you have to remember that all calories are not equal. I'll say it again. All calories are not equal. The way that these foods here in this diagram on the left are completely different than the foods on the right, and they're metabolically processed in completely different ways. So the bottom line is that it's not all about calories in, calories out. The calories in a bottle of apple juice do not have the same reaction in the body the way a whole apple does. That's the easiest way to put it. Calories in versus calories out is part of the equation. But if you do not address the other root causes that are causing you to be in fat storage mode, one being the nutritional starvation, then only focusing on calorie deficit will do more damage than anything. It's about eating the right types of micro and macronutrients. That way, your body will be full and satisfied of all its nutrients. If you eat enough healthy whole plant foods, you will get adequate calories. And remember, just by eating more of these foods, you can be in a calorie deficit. As long as they are unrefined and processed, they should be included in what you eat. Rather, the opposite should only be minimally included in your diet. You can actually put yourself into a calorie deficit just by eating more whole plant foods because they have such low amounts of calories. As you can see here, in the fruits and veggies in the stomach, it fills. You are getting totally satisfied. Ever noticed when you eat things that maybe are just full of oil and you're eating lots of meat and processed foods, you're still hungry? That is why you have to eat more of these voluminous, fibrous foods. You must understand, when it comes to gaining or losing weight, energy balance. You eat foods which contain macronutrient energy in the form of calories. When you consume more calories than you burn throughout the day, the net effect is a surplus of calories that are stored and held on for later use. So, what makes you fat? Not one single macronutrient is going to make you fat, but if you're eating over your calorie balance for the day, then that is when all protein, fats, and carbs can be stored easily as fat. The key is to eat more foods that have a low net calorie amount. That is how you can eat more and weigh less, just like that bowl there on the right. Some people, even you, may have dabbled into the If It Fits Your Macros diet, aka IIFYM. I do not agree with this diet because although it may work for obtaining a specific body composition, it is not sustainable and it leaves too much room for the wrong types of foods. It doesn't focus on adding the nutrients your body's actually starving for. You might be able to fit donuts, cheese fries, a Big Mac, all the above into your macros for the day following that diet. But if you are missing out on a buttload of beneficial nutrients that are necessary, then you're still going to be starving. And you need to think about what is actually happening inside the body when you consume these foods. It's inflammation, hormonal changes. These can cause you to store more fat over time and put you at risk for developing obesity and disease. IFYM is a short-term approach and does not set you up for success in the long term. Eating in a way which maximizes whole foods and plant foods that are health promoting rather than disease promoting is obviously the way to go. This is how I've been able to heal my body from the inside out while losing weight at the same time. I've been able to fill those gaps where I'd been starving, and now it's your turn. As you can see, there are so many benefits of eating a whole food plant-based diet. Lower your BMI, your body fat, lower overall mortality, or risk of dying from heart disease. Reduce medication requirements and procedure requirements, which can get pretty expensive. Helps you maintain weight, lower your risk of hypertension, which is high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, elevated blood sugar, reduce risk of certain types of cancers, reduce obesity, inflammatory markers, reversal of advanced heart disease, and reversal of type 2 diabetes. Not only are these reversible, but they are preventable with a whole food plant-based diet. All right, for your action step, I want you to track your food intake for at least one day. I want you to track everything you put into your mouth, food and drink. You do not necessarily need to add this into an app like MyFitnessPal, but it is a great free app that really shows you the nutritional content of your food. You at least need to write this down in your journal or in your notes. Minimum, I want you to track for one day, but if you can, 3 days of tracking is ideal. That way you can see what you're eating, what you're intaking, what the nutritional content of these foods really is. It's such an eye-opener. If you do use the MyFitnessPal app, you can see the calorie content as well. And so you must get an idea of the most common foods you eat that are leaving you starving for these nutrients. That way we can fill in those nutrient gaps. Okay, go ahead and move on to the next lesson, and you can learn all about which types of foods you should be including.